Hi, I'm delighted that you're here today. This is Tea with Monty. And if you are new to this channel, this is a question and answer episode. So by all means, please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell to be notified of other videos. And let's get right into what we're going to do. But before we do, we need to spin that intro. The first question comes from Agustin, and he has a guitar that has been given to him by his mother. It's got sentimental value, and he says that the top has shrunk or caved in like this. That's likely due to humidity, not the tension of the strings. These braces are designed to take a certain amount of tension. If you put a heavier gauge string on it, yes, it could damage the top, but it would likely pull the bridge off before it did that. It would lift it like this. So my guess is it's humidity. You might try and put a humidifier into the sound hole, put it in the case, and keep doing that. It'll take quite a few days for that humidity to build up, and see if that doesn't pick up. Loosen off the strings in order to allow it to come back up. If it's gone too far, what's happened is the glue has split away from the braces, and now it's probably due for a new top, and that's a lot of work. So I won't be able to do a video on that because I don't have a guitar that's in that shape. So we'll just have to leave that as it is. Now, Ethan and I have had some correspondence. One of the questions Ethan had asked me some time ago was if I'd tried any of the other typical British teas, such as Taylor's, Twinings, and Tetley. Twinings, that's what's in here right now. Tetley, yes, I've had that. Taylor's, no. Maybe I'll go on Selfridge's website and see if they don't carry it, and if they do, maybe I can order some and have it sent in and get a cream biscuit. If you can tell me what is a good quality cream biscuit, I'd certainly be interested in that. My wife doesn't like that idea, but I do. So let's see what we can do. Now, Gary in Tennessee, he has a Takamine guitar, and he's not sure where the pickups go and if they work differently than in an electric guitar. They work the same. They're picking up the sounds of the vibrations of the strings going back and forth. But what happens here is with an acoustic, it can be one of two things. This is your bridge. Your bridge sits here like this, and it's over top of this bridge plate. So when you drill holes through here, they come right through the bridge plate. And then what I do is I like to get the pickup that I put a little bit of contact cement on, or rather crazy glue, and I put it between 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 5 and 6, and that spreads it out, and it picks up the vibration of the top from the bridge, the saddle, the strings, the whole top, everything else moving. The other option is to drill through here, and a pickup goes in the bottom. Then the saddle fits on the top of this, the bone, and your strings come over top. The only difficulty I have with that is that's very fragile, and I don't want to be messing with that. So my preferred method is this one, because once it's glued in place, it's permanent. So that, I hope, answers your question. From Australia, we have Nicholas, who's 16, and he's thinking of starting a business. Now, when he wrote me and asked me about this, or commented on with the question, I wrote him back and asked him what kind of a business. Did he want to start a consulting business, or did he have a product in mind? And he said he was thinking of wooden products such as breadboards, wooden toys, and maybe small furniture. I would be thinking that the breadboards is not a bad idea if you can get some salad oil on the top of that to finish it off, and see if you can get a couple of small stores to carry your breadboards on a consignment basis. Maybe they take 25% and you take 75% because they're pretty good and easy to make. Make sure you use waterproof glue or they'll split apart. The other thing is with wooden toys, while I like that and Christmas is coming up and parents are always looking for toys for their kids, make sure that the parts cannot come off and they're not small enough that an infant can put it in its mouth and choke on it. So be careful of that. The last thing I would point out is the small furniture. Love that idea, because furniture for children is hard to find. So small tables, chairs, beds, things of this nature, parents would be very much interested in. I would think that would be a good one. Let me know how you make out with that. Lee, she writes me and she says she likes the Australian Blackwood that we saw earlier on. And yes, it's a beautiful guitar, no question about it. And she wants to know whether or not I made guitars and went into woodworking, or did I come from woodworking into guitars? It would be woodworking into guitars. It started for me way back when, just simply watching my dad. When I decided to make guitars, I watched Robbie O'Brien on O'Brien Guitars. Robbie makes phenomenal guitars and he teaches extremely well, and I've known him for a number of years. Just thumbs up on that man. So take a look at his website. It's O'Brien Guitars, and I think you'd like to see what he has. My sister has written me and has told me to tell you that yes, I did play guitar, but that my hands started shaking so bad I couldn't play anymore. Okay, I've told them, Carol, it's okay. They all know, and I won't lick my fingers when I've got glue on them anymore. Herfener says to me, what kind of experiments have I tried with guitar building and what worked and what didn't work? Well, I tried some inlay work, but with my hands that shake, it was a disaster on the peg head. So I thought, you know what, I really don't like this. So what I did is I ended up taking the neck off and threw it away, and I made another neck, and I did some wooden inlay on that, and I thought, wow, is this ever good? I left, came back about 2-3 hours later and looked at it and thought, wow, is this ever ugly? I don't like this at all. And there was nothing I could do about it at that point, so I took the neck off and threw it away. That's neck number 2. So I made a third neck, and I didn't put anything on the peg head at all. It fit perfectly and looked good, played well, and I left it at that. So yeah, I've tried it. There was a body to this guitar at one point, by the way. Oh, I just dropped the bridge. There was a body to this, and it, I don't know what happened to it. It disappeared. I didn't make this separate just for show and tell purposes. This was actually on a guitar, and that didn't work out. So they don't always work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Tom, a high school teacher who teaches digital media, wants to know what I could suggest for the students that are facing work, life, school, passions, all of those kinds of things. Wow, that's a big question, Tom, and it's really worthy of an answer. That's a 2 or 3 video thing right off the bat. But let me first say this. Students, if you're watching this, you get as much education as you can. Your teacher knows more than you do. Pick his brains, her brains, until they get tired and exhausted answering all your questions. They're a wealth of knowledge. Seize it and go with it. Now, once you've got your education and you've gone on, what employers are looking for is they want experience. So get yourself a job. Doesn't matter what you do. Work in a factory, work in a retail store, work somewhere, and take every opportunity you can to demonstrate leadership and to demonstrate responsibility. Take on more work, take on more responsibility, show up early, stay late, do things that will enhance your employer. And those are the things, when you go to find the job later on, that the employer wants. Yeah, he wants you to have an education, but he's going to say to you, what kind of experience do you have? The other thing is, Tom indicated here about following your passions. Absolutely. If your passion is digital media and you're into this digital age and you want to do videos and you want to get on YouTube, go for it. Absolutely go for it. That's so important. If you're into history and you want to work at a museum, well, that's a different story altogether. But if your passion is for digital media, don't go and work in the museum. You're going to be bored out of your mind and you're not going to enjoy it. So go where the opportunity is and what you enjoy, and stick with it. Don't just jump in and jump out. Stick with it. All right. Chris from Seattle says, what other jobs have I had besides being a teacher? Well, I worked as a purchasing agent for a large oil company. I left that. I went into sales, spent quite a bit of time in sales. And then I went on my own and had my own company where I was in fundraising, and I raised over $500 million for charities. So that was very rewarding, and I would really encourage people to pursue that kind of thing. David writes me, and he says, where am I going to have my first meeting and my first hookup with the people on the channel? I've been contacted by the management of Sam Ash Music in New York City. And I do go to New York City from time to time, and they've asked me if I would let them know when I'm coming, and they would set up something for me to meet and greet people. And I would indicate that on the channel as well. So we would do that initially probably in New York City. After that, I don't know. If you have suggestions, write to me and you know, write to Tea with Monty and tell me where you think I should go and how I should do that. I like it very much. My last question for today is from a number of people: Alicia, Roman, and Chris, Alan, Andrew. Where can I buy your guitars? Well, I'm working on a website to put the guitars on the site, and you can, all the specs will be there, and then you can look at it and decide if that's something you want, then you can purchase them there. And I will have that up shortly. I've got a lot of things going on, and this has been quite a learning curve for me. So I haven't quite got it finished yet, but we'll get there very, very soon, and you can take a look. And I'll do a video and show you that it's up and running, and you'll know. So do come back and have a look for that. Now, one last thing before I go. Tomorrow I have a very special video going up. There's a friend of mine in the United States by the name of Michael, and Michael and his niece made an electric guitar together, and I can't think of anything more exciting than that. That is just, wow, that's what you want to be doing. So he has made a permanent influence in her life, because she'll be able to tackle on things that she never dreamt that she could do in life and conquer them, because she's got the confidence to do that. So you're going to get to see the pictures of this guitar, and it is beautiful. And so he has his own YouTube channel called Michael Builds, and he builds all kinds of things. So you really want to check him out. He's very much worth going and having a look at. You'll probably want to subscribe, because he's really good. So you'll enjoy that. That's coming up tomorrow. So thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, the subscribe button is down this side. I think I've got that right. And the bell and all that notification stuff. I appreciate you being here. You know, you guys are terrific. I don't have a biscuit to eat with this, sorry, Ethan, but I do have some dark chocolate with sea salt in it. And that's the next best thing to English breakfast tea, which is the best, the most superior drink in the world. What can I say? I would expect that when you look at the shuttles that are going around in space up there, they've got English breakfast tea, because it's out of this world. Thanks, friends, and bye for now. Oh, beautiful.